I'm Abhijit Dasgupta, a veteran journalist. I do not usually post my videos, but times have changed and we need to express our feelings and our thoughts. I'm not afraid, was never afraid. Fear is a word that is not in my dictionary. I have faced bullets during the Bangladesh war, being the first journalist to enter East Pakistan in March 1971, just 2 days after the brutal Operation Searchlight. I have been to Tihar jail for protesting only to be let out at 2:30 in the morning to produce the opening ceremony of the Asian Games in Delhi. But today, almost touching 80, and after 61 years in the media, I am a little afraid, not for me, but for my daughter, who often returns home very late after their performances. A granddaughter who is in the media, who regularly returns home at the dead of night after her media assignments. If in a Calcutta hospital, a postgraduate doctor in her own hospital can be brutally murdered, what safety are we really talking about? The city is agog with echoes of justice. People of almost all professions, old and young, have come out with or without candles, with or without banners, to press for their demand. The thing is, this is a spontaneous outburst, and that ought to happen. But taking advantage of the situation, the politicians have jumped in to hog limelight, and the media is providing exactly that, exactly what they want, giving them valuable minutes, valuable space in studio, where all of them create a cacophony, or outside the studio, where they give long bites. But demand for justice in a peaceful, non-partisan way is something that is justified and must be encouraged. Mass movement of any kind, without any political involvement, must be encouraged. What really happened? A young postgraduate doctor was found dead at her workplace. It is merely a case of neglect. Is that really a case of neglect and lack of safety? Or a disaster that has much deeper roots, far greater consequences, far greater implications? Some doctors even point to the lack of basic amenities like a toilet where a lady can latch a bolt from inside. When will the truth emerge? God only knows. The TV channels fan the fire to keep up their TRP graphs, but their trust graphs are suffering. How many channels have really invited to those discussion programs in the evening, criminologists, forensic experts, psychologists, psychiatrists, genetic experts? If not, why not? Why is it that only political analysts and politicians become the spokesperson on television? I'm talking about in most cases. Some young journalists, and I'm very happy to say so, are now trying. But many that I know have sold their spine somewhere, sometime. Sad, very sad indeed. The designations or the money, remember, are short-lived. What you will gain is sleep at night, peaceful sleep at night, and respect of the educated. please try to get back that credibility. Better late than never. I'm yet to hear about the very first person or persons who spotted the crime. What exactly followed? What followed thereafter? When the police received the first call, did they specifically warn to close the door and not to let anyone inside or to visit the crime scene? Did they ask the caller, for heaven's sake, don't allow anyone to go near that crime scene? It seems many visited the crime scene even before the police arrived. This obviously will leave the investigation in a quandary. Instead of specific footprints or specific impressions, there will be now many, causing serious confusion. The point is, why wasn't it done? What was this 40 feet barricade about? The other important question that comes to mind is a protocol that is maintained in any government organization. Did the assistant superintendent, who allegedly made the phone calls to the parents, giving wrong information, did she take permission of the head of the institution, the principal in this case, and what were the specific instructions given to her before making the phone calls? What is the process that gets followed after such a brutal crime? The first information report, or the FIR, gets recorded, followed by the Surthal, what's known as a Surthal or inquest report, which is usually filed by an assistant sub-inspector or a sub-inspector in the presence of a magistrate of any death under suspicious circumstances. It seems the medical institution did not file the FIR. It filed a GD. The parents of the victim claim that they were the first to file the FIR, and that too got recorded after a long delay. Is this really true? If so, again, why? The inquest report by itself is very elaborate. Date, time, place, when and where are very specifically recorded. Accurate description with sketches and photographs and videographs of the place, time, position, scar marks, position of limb, position of any covering, any resistance mark, all get recorded. Now, the rule says that this inquest report has to be witnessed by two local respectable witnesses. Who were the local respectable witnesses who signed? The questions, if truthfully answered and filled up, then the claim by a certain section of the seminar hall not being the scene of crime becomes slightly debatable. However, the people need to question what was the hurry to renovate the room diagonally opposite the seminar hall. It seems the very next day, the principal not only issued the order, but mentioned urgent and immediate in the order to the PWD. These and many other questions are asked by many junior doctors, and rightfully so, I think. The lady doctor was well known, and there cannot be any reason, any valid reason for filing unidentified body, if at all it was done, as again claimed by a section. The post-mortem is done under daylight. It is never done in the dark. And there are certain conditions. The body could have been preserved in a freezer for further or second post-mortem. it wasn't done. The parents claim they were at the Tala police station and the police, and they're surrounded by at least hundreds of policemen when the body was whisked away for cremation. What was the hurry again? The parents apparently wanted the body preserved. And RG Kaur has the best possible facility to preserve a body. Again, why all that hurry? The Indian Journal of Medical Ethics says this, and I quote, "Postmortem can be conducted after sunset at hospitals that have the infrastructure of conducting such postmortem on a regular basis. Cases under categories such as homicide, rape, decomposed bodies, and suspected foul play should not, I repeat, should not be subjected to postmortem during night, unless there is a law and order threat." What was a law and order threat perception? What was it? There are possibly no specific laws or rules that forbid cremation after the postmortem is done. But she being a doctor, it could have been very easy for the authorities to preserve the body in the best possible facility available in Kolkata. There being no rule to forbid cremation after postmortem, none can squarely blame early cremation. That is a fallacy. However, certain actions, like not cordoning off the entrance to the seminar hall and the surrounding area, can be questioned. The basic principle is to cordon off a larger area and then slowly reduce it. Larger area would have meant the whole area. Here again, the hurry too can be questioned, because to conduct any kind of a forensic test or DNA tests, it takes time. There has to be two different strands to prove any sexual assault. More than two would mean there were multiple criminals involved. But here it seems, and it appears, that there was only one person. But what proves that? Why wasn't the body preserved in the largest preservation center of this city for a second postmortem? Why wasn't it done? Under whose orders? What baffles me also is that an able-bodied doctor failing to hit a person at a vital point, he might have been a boxer, and a trained boxer at that. But what resistance marks were found on him? Now he is in the presidency jail, happily there. The point is, nature will slowly cover up those marks. I hope they have been properly examined. Maybe it has been done, I'm not sure. There is yet another claim that points out reasons of the time difference of the death. Now, what is the law? The actual time of death as in the postmortem, or the official time of death as recorded? That recorded after completion of all formalities. What ought to be the time of death? The postmortem report time and the official time differs. Okay. Now, why does it differ? Apparently, because the Aadhaar card and signing authority was not there. I find it very, very difficult to believe that it wasn't difficult, that it was very difficult for the Aadhaar card to be sent so that the two could tally. The parents allege that they were kept waiting for hours, almost 3 hours, often in different rooms. Any particular reason? And what they claim is indeed shocking. The body position was changed and the covers were different in colors. And now they're even claiming someone came to offer them money. Were the police under pressure? In a government service, many requests come. These are requests under the veil of order. I have spent 50% of my life, of my career, in the private sector and 50% in the government sector. I am a victim of this. I am aware of such illegal and almost unethical, why almost absolutely unethical requests, which I have suffered from. Getting a marching order the very next day for not complying with the order to Bhopal without any rhyme or reason. A friend of mine who later on became the chief secretary of Madhya Pradesh got 6 or 7 transfer orders on the same day. I know of very able and capable police officers being shunted to posts that are inconsequential. These do happen, but police cannot be afraid of posting. They can be posted anytime, anywhere. The West Bengal Junior Doctors Front demands and identify and investigate all individuals directly or indirectly involved in the destruction of evidence. Now, which really means that they are claiming there was a destruction of evidence. The parents of the deceased doctor were misinformed over phone by the college authority, the assistant superintendent in this case, beginning with sickness and later on suicide, wherein the reality was quite different. The crime scene was not cordoned off by Kolkata police, with free access to various people with multiple influential personalities, with some no official links to RG Kaur. Post-mortem was done in the same institution, which is not usually done, and the body was cremated in a hurried manner, leaving no chance for a repeat post-mortem. Now, these are some of the allegations by the Junior Doctors Forum. Hurried renovation at the chest medicine department immediately after the crime was possibly an attempt to tamper evidence at the crime scene. There was a premeditated mob attack at RG Kaur. Now, this happened on the 14th of August. I refuse to believe that police intelligence completely failed. Our police was once compared to Scotland Yard. I don't believe they have been reduced to a state where simple intelligence they don't get. I at times feel angry, possibly because of my age, but what can be done? Can all the questions asked be satisfactorily answered? The junior doctors are doing a magnificent job. They are trying to usher in a cleaner service environment. If that happens, it will be for good. The ex-principal has been taken into custody. The reason may be different, but I am sure the CBI will sometime or other question him on the death, the unusual death, and delve into the factual checks. Whatever be it, as citizens, we have a right to ask, We have a right to ask for safety. Justice delayed is justice denied. The suspect, it seems, has no remorse. He is safe and sound at the presidency jail. Surely he will plead not guilty. It will be up to the investigating agencies and the investigating authorities to prove him wrong with unfailing evidence. If evidences get tampered, those that those or people who are responsible ought to be equally punished. It is the citizens who will keep up the pressure and the vigil to expedite the process. The media too has a responsibility, a social responsibility, and a role to play. If this crime goes unsubstantiated in the court of law, it will be an utter shame. Media ought to handhold the investigating agencies rather than to only spread scandal and sensation. It will be up to the investigating agencies to make their findings foolproof. Is time only the answer? The hanging on 15th of August 2004 of Dhananjay was a capital punishment, surely. But has it been a deterrent? People tend to forget. The problem has very deep roots. Like any other profession, there is corruption in the medical profession too. The point is, we need to ask why again. There are charges of overbilling, wrong billing, and charges of handholding with various institutions, pharmaceutical industries, diagnostic centers, whatnot. Now, why does it happen? The major cause, perhaps, is the admission of less qualified students in private medical colleges where they need to pay, whatever be the term. This pay in turn becomes a huge loan and uncertainty looms over them. I know of doctors who sit under a 40-watt bulb waiting for a patient to come. This pay syndrome spreads fast to similar institutes in different forms and styles. There are already claims of students intentionally not given pass marks and being forced to pay, squeeze them to pay. The protest and demand and the human chain show the solidarity of emotional Bengal. But the whole system needs a drastic reformation. Can Bengal design a model medical structure that others can follow? The demand is not just for justice or one case, but the demand should be to change the whole medical system, the atmosphere, the medical environment, the structure. Only then things will improve. We must have safety for all. If the telltale evidences were really tampered with, will it take very long time to reach the truth? But I'm sure evil cannot prevail. Our Uma will this year not come back home. But can we ensure that our Umas can return home safely year after year? The pujas are around the corner, money or no money. Each pandal can be a symbol of demand to eradicate injustice. Can our Uma be happy and return home every year? Can we ensure that? Asura can never wean. Can our Ummah be the source of a larger social reformation? Thank you.